Hey friends, it's Samantha Lacroix here, and I'm a real estate agent in Port Alberni. Today I wanted to go over the top 3 myths and truths about Port Alberni. Now, if you've heard anything about Port Alberni, it's probably that it's the place that you drive through to go to Tofino. I have some myths and truths that I'd like to bust for you today about this beautiful city that I live in. The first myth I have for you today is that Port Alberni is a super remote community and that it's really far from civilization. The truth of the matter is that Port Alberni is only an hour away from Nanaimo and only an hour and 15 minutes away from Courtenay. So while we have some amazing local stores, of course sometimes there are the amenities that you need that you can only find in a bigger center. If you were living in a big city like Vancouver, you'd be traveling an hour to get most places anyway, so to have a beautiful drive to go down to Nanaimo to spend the day there is really not that bad. The second myth I'd like to bust, and a question I get asked all the time, is that isn't it hard to find a job in Port Alberni? First of all, like I said in the last question, we're only an hour away from Nanaimo, and that's an hour drive that most people would be commuting in the city anyway. If you want to find something a little bit closer, the hospital is a huge employer in town, as well as government jobs and jobs in tourism. And of course, because of all the events that have happened in the last year, a lot of people have the ability to work from home now, which is super exciting. So if you're working a job in the city, but you have to pay really high rents in order to live there, why wouldn't you come to a place where you can own your own house and pay less in a mortgage payment and work in a job where you can work from home? And then you can go for walks on your lunch break and have amazing views like this. And that brings us to myth number 3, that Port Alberni was voted the worst place to live in Canada. Well, actually that myth is true. However, I'd like you to make a judgment for yourself about whether or not Port Alberni is the worst place to live in Canada. I grew up in northern BC, and I can honestly say that there are a lot worse places to live. Did you know that Port Alberni, on average, has a 5-degree warmer temperature than anywhere else on the island? I hope this video helped bust some myths about Port Alberni that you might have had. If you have any other questions about Port Alberni, I would love for you to reach out and I'd be happy to answer your questions. If you like this video or want to see more content about Vancouver Island, or you just want to see my pretty face, subscribe or like below.